Okay, here we are with Chapter 3, Unknown Enemy, which, this section of different ROM, I found there's two different versions of the final one, and I think this is the one that has the graphics edits that are in this chapter, so some stats may be inconsistent. Not that anyone was keeping track of them before. So anyway, plot approaches. If you want the plot so far, Lynn and Nino are mercenaries. They were hired to fight some bandits. Elwood and Priscilla are villagers on a mountain who were victims of bandits. They decided that just fighting bandits wasn't enough because the bandits will just come back. They should find their lair and wipe them out once and for all. Unfortunately, the lair has a door. In Fire Emblem, you can only open doors with keys or thieves. Elwood is like, are you kidding? Can't we just, bust it open? We've got swords! And Lynn is like, no, Elwood, the game's not programmed like that. He thinks the tactician can find a way around. It's like, Elwood, only this thief can save you. And here he is. Here's Raven. In canon, Raven is an angsty mercenary. In this hack, he's a quirky thief, because I just thought it would be kind of funny. And I think that when he's actually smiling, he has a face like he'd be kind of mischievous. So yeah, this portrait was made just by splicing Raven's head onto Matthew's body and changing the colors. Because I'm not good at art. I still like it a lot, though. I actually think it looks good with that palette. Kind of subdued. But yeah, notice how Raven... I hope I capture this as dialogue, but he's kind of slightly snarky and thrill-seeking. He has a slightly clipped way of speaking at points. You know. So he's not a bandit. He's a mercenary who was hired to help the bandits, which is that's kind of weird, isn't it? Well, the chapter is titled Unknown Enemies. Our heroes are about to discover that they thought their enemies were bandits, but actually they have another enemy. However, heroes are also feeling a little uncertain about working with Raven because, he was helping the bandits murder dudes and steal their stuff. Of course, Raven didn't do any of that personally, but it's not like he hasn't in the past. The thing about this hack is that none of the characters are lords. They're all just kind of average people. Well, not average, but random people. And quite a number of them are mercenaries, so at quite a few points the characters kind of confront the problem of, mercenaries are people who do things for money, and sometimes the things they're hired to do are not very ethical. Lynn and Nino are basically, part of their story is that they're constantly impoverished and rely on charity because they won't do things that they think are immoral, so they're really shitty at being mercenaries. That's not a route to success. I mean, it's kind of the pirates who don't do anything problem, where it's it's interesting to write about characters of these professions, but historically, sometimes people in these professions did bad things. So in this hack, the characters, they at least discuss it sometimes. They don't solve it in any way. I don't think there's a solution or anything, but they kind of confront the problem of, because Raven, for example, he's not evil. He's not a wicked person who delights in hurting people or something, but in order to make money, he does evil things sometimes. Here's a tutorial part again. I don't know, it was just I just wanted to put some tutorial stuff in, because again, I have some friends who don't really play Fire Emblem, so I was maybe I'll just stick this in. So, the thing about this chapter is, oops, I screen captured. As you can see, it's our first one in a building. The building, it looks okay. It's not that well designed. I think my building designs got slightly less shitty over time, but I can't judge my own performance. There's quite a lot of doors here, so you're probably thinking, oh, we'll just use Raven's lockpick. You can see that his base stats are, here's the description, are basically Matthew's and then adjusted a little. Because if you use mercenary base stats for him, it's broken as all hell, because it gives him such a huge strength. I did that in the first kind of early play testing phases when I was just trying to get things to function, not make them balanced. It's really fun to play, I'll admit, when it's like that, because everyone is overpowered. A lot of the characters, I had to adjust their base stats. But anyway, the thing is, in this hack there are a lot of doors, and in this mission there are a lot of doors. There are also various keys. You want to find, also Elwood, that was a shitty level up, what the hell. You want to get your hands on as many of these keys as you possibly can. For the very simple reason that you want to save Raven's lockpick. There's a few things you're going to need it for later in the game. And you want to have it around for that. So basically, instead of just relying solely on key and the lockpick here, you use up some of the keys. There's also a chest key a little later. Either that or use the lockpick and save all of the keys, but I think for inventory purposes, since you don't have a merchant, you're better off just using up the keys and saving the lockpick. And Ella would just use your rapier and finish this up. He's got another key. Kill a monk. And notice his palette. I edited his palette so that it's basically, it's the thief sprite, but it uses Raven's mercenary colors. I know, it's like, that's not really, it wasn't that difficult to do, so I shouldn't really be that proud of it. But I actually was pretty proud of it, because I had never done that before. I had no idea how to do it. It took me a while to figure it out. Basically, I followed a tutorial, but, you know, it was fun learning to do that. And I think the palette actually looks rather nice. The colors look good. So, Raven has a rather dark, subdued palette, color-wise. Oh, actually, let's have you grab some of Raven's stuff so he can steal even more things. Having a lot of vulneraries, I will say, I am usually a player who doesn't really use vulneraries. They come in very handy. Ooh, nice, some strength. But they come in very handy during this hack. For various reasons. I forgot to set my options here, I think. Yeah, gotta put the... Oh, no, I had it already. But, because even though you've got your healer, there are some missions where you're going to want to split the party up, and, you know, you can't have Priscilla be everywhere. Particularly the final level. Save vulneraries for the final level, because you'll be in a situation where you can't get Priscilla everywhere fast enough, and you're going to need people to be able to self-heal if you want to win. It's very important. Gosh darn it. Well, we're about to get a free firebook, so I'll drop this other one. Plus, in this hack, I kind of ran out of things to use as rewards at certain points, because I wasn't very creative. So, you'll never run out of money is the short version. There's so much money handed out. It's like candy. Actually, you never get any candy, so, I don't know. It's the opposite of candy. You get no candy, tons of money. It's the anti-candy. Finally, some resistance. As long as she keeps getting speed, I'm happy, I guess. I like speedy characters. It's my preference. Does anybody need healing? Okay, and, let me quickly check what level everyone is. I'm probably going to send Raven. See, I admit it takes... Because I never bother splitting the party, and even if you do, you have to walk all the way around. The room up in the left, I probably should have just left this wall out to make it easier to actually get to. Or maybe put the door down here. But I kind of wanted to have a slightly winding feel. You know, you have to walk around, and it made the map look a little empty. I may have just made the building too big in retrospect. See there, we got 2,000 gold. See how much gold we have right now? Okay, it's only like 4,000. That's not that much. But there's not even that much to buy, so... And then we got an extra fire book. Just as planned. Just kidding. So yes, I'm sending Raven away up here, because he needs some exp. Elwood can unlock this door. You'll see there's one door that doesn't need to be unlocked. I just put it in there because I thought, you know, it makes the room look a little better. You could plausibly get in there if you needed to. Because without Nino, you can't kill the ranged dudes with someone else's range, so you wouldn't be able to get the chest. I mean, there's no reason not to have Nino, unless you're awful at this game. But it's like, just in case, there's still a way out. Forgot to give the door key. So yeah, but you shouldn't need to open that door at any point, so... you will have exactly the right number of door keys, assuming you use Raven to open the front door. No matter what you do, there's not enough door keys to open every single door. As you can see, I got all of them, and yet I'm still too short. I'm still too short counting the front door. So you have to use lockpick a little. The thing with the lockpick and how you need it later, it's not so strict that you have to get every single door key. You can miss a couple. You'll still have like 3 or 4 extra uses at the end. But you know, it never hurts to be careful. Basically, just make sure that you have it Oh, shit, Raven could die here. Ah, phew. Good work, Raven. Good dodge. Very nice level up. Skill never hurts, and strength, I won't say no. Hasn't got any speed yet. He's a strange thief. Love that palette. But, so, Okay, I'll have Priscilla grab the chests, which involves more money. Yeah, you get 3,000 money just in this mission. The other chest has a spare heal staff. Since there's no shops just yet, it seemed kind of like, why would there be a shop near an enormous bandit fortress, right? I figured I'd put the heal in there. Because, you might run a little short, I guess. I guess I could have, made the money more useful, but I really wanted to put treasures in the bandit fortress, because they steal stuff, right? They ought to have a treasure. But then there wasn't really anything. I just gave a fire and a... Oh yeah, this isn't edited from the original game, so this is combo, which doesn't really make sense here. I just never got around to changing the text. But anyway, I figured, might as well give a useful present, right? Very nice. More strength and a little resistance. That's good. So we're going to move her out, because no point in letting her hog the exp. Priscilla's doing quite well, too. And Ellawood, step on up. I'm doing the waiting next to the boss rather than straight attacking, because otherwise, if we got hit, we might die the next turn. So just being a little cautious here. I tend to a more cautious playstyle, truthfully. I'm slightly turtley, which is bad for recording videos, so later on these may have to get split into multiple parts to accommodate my turtling. Excuse me. Hoorah, level up. Strength and resistance, well, we really want defense, but it's alright. No HP either. Well, let's seize. And now we find out about our unknown enemies. And we get a little cutscene. Why does Nina walk so slow in this cutscene? Speed it up, girl. Priscilla doesn't appear new on the map in this cutscene. I guess she's chilling somewhere else. I guess she doesn't talk, so here. And we have a little chat between these two. It's just some character development, I guess. Because, these two are kind of... The relationship between them is important to the story. And you notice here, Lynn is like, these bandits, they shared a lot of stuff. Their weapons are really high quality. They couldn't have made this money stealing from the impoverished villages here. How did this happen? So we're already getting a hint here that something is not right here. Something is odd with these bandits. And who can tell us? Raven. I'll also just add in here that I never got around to putting in, death quotes and stuff. I didn't edit them properly. So don't let any of the characters die if you play this hack, because the events won't work. It'll just look silly, and they'll still appear in cutscenes, and I guess I figured that most Fire Emblem players don't let anybody die. Notice also here that, again, the problem of people talking to each other while not looking at each other. Since they spend most of the scene talking to Raven, I just figured it only made sense having them on the same side. Oh, Raven, he constantly pisses Ellawood off, and it's completely on purpose because he thinks it's funny. So, what we find out here is that he's not a bandit. He is a mercenary who was assigned to be here. Hawk Company. I figured that sounded like a name a company might use. It sounds kind of vaguely cool. Hawks, they're strong, right? And again, he just constantly annoys Ellawood for the fun of it. Of course, Lynn was a mercenary, so she knows who they are. They're renowned for strength and discipline. They're the extremely vaguely described mercenary company. So Raven's like, I don't know why. I was hired to do it. And see, they didn't actually help. They just gave money to the bandits. So someone hired mercenaries to give money to bandits to attack a village. You'll notice that this scheme is really convoluted. We never actually meet the person who originated this scheme. That's sort of it was an interesting plot decision, but I thought it made them make sense. It made more sense. But anyway, he clearly has a twisty mind. Anyway, they don't know where Hawk Company's base is, so he calls Ellawood pretty. A lot of people call Ellawood pretty in this story, and it just annoys the hell out of him. So anyway, they need Raven to guide them to Hawk Company so they can investigate who hired Hawk Company so they can find the true enemy of Ellawood's village. I think I'm not sure who would win in a fight. Raven's stats may actually be slightly better, but Ellawood has the rapier. Raven is pretty tough. Raven thinks he's great. I like how Lynn's like, you're on our side, but we don't actually trust you that much. Which makes sense. He never betrays him, but it's not like he's a very trustworthy person, right? So the reason he's not facing her yet is because she's sort of deep in thought. It was deliberate. And then she turns around once he gets her attention. I probably should have made this text box shorter. It looks way too big on screen. The thing is, you know, you have to like put the text in such that it fits in certain spaces. But I am a person who puts a lot of text and stuff, so sometimes the text boxes don't look particularly fantastic. Elwood's a little nervous because, you know, this is dangerous. He feels bad dragging Lynn and Nino into it. But Lynn's like, no, it's our job. Notice that her answer is kind of emotionally detached. Lynn is like, I feel like she's very reserved. She tries not to, like, you know, get too attached. So Hawk Company, they have to figure out who their unknown enemy title drop actually is, which they'll do in the next chapter. So the plot has happened. We're searching for the enemies of Elwood's village, but we don't know why they attacked the village. And we won't find out in the next chapter because it's just filler. But we will meet 2 more characters and see a map that I couldn't get to work right. So look forward to that, I guess.